Hey everyone, in this Creativity Booster lesson, I'm going to show you how to create a pair of freestanding lace earrings using the clerk font. So come on, let's get started. Let's begin by selecting the Creativity Booster clerk font. So navigate to where you have it stored and downloaded on your computer. Just grab the master JDX file and say open, and all of the characters for this Creativity Booster will come in on screen. We're going to use the exclamation point today to create our freestanding lace earrings. So I just want to drag the selection box around it. I'm going to come up under copy. Let's open a new design. We'll say paste, and let's pop it in the center of our screen. So go align center. So it is right here on the screen. Next step is to change the size. So under transform in the properties, open it up and this will show your height. I'm going to uncheck the maintain aspect ratio so we can just type in 15 by 48 and press enter. It will resize, and then you can go back ahead and recheck the maintain aspect ratio in case you want to change it other sizes. So creativity boosters come in as artwork. They are created as artwork designs using the artwork tool inside of EL Digitizer. So I'm going to expand it. This particular creativity booster has 3 sets of artwork. You have the green solid, you've got the yellow, it looks like a wider outline, and then you have the blue narrower outline. For this design, for the freestanding lace, I do not need this outer outline, so I'm going to simply select it and tap D on my keyboard for delete, and I have removed it. The next step is selecting the yellow artwork and come up under specialty box. We're going to create a contour around it. We'll go around the outside. The ripples is 1, which means 1 offset. I'm going to keep it at round, and I'm going to have it as a 2mm offset. So I will say OK. So the offset comes in also as artwork. So we'll be changing that to stitches in just a minute. But first I want to clean up a couple of these nodes that pull the design in right here. So I'll select this, tap Q on your keyboard, and that is the path edit hotkey. I'm going to just drag a little box to select these nodes. Notice how that they turn red, which means that they are selected. I'll simply right click and I will delete those. And notice that this created an open shape when it created that outline, and we'll fix that in just a minute. But let's delete a couple more of these nodes right here. So I'm going to select those. I'll say delete, and all we have to do to close this shape is select it and then come up under the close shape icon, and that shape is automatically closed. Now we can start building up the foundation for the freestanding lace. Because this is artwork, you can convert them to any of the stitch types that are available inside ELD. And for this, we are going to change it to a fill. So I'm going to select convert to fill. I'm going to set this at a 45-degree angle. So we're going to create kind of a mesh framework. I will press enter twice, enter, enter, and notice that it is a fill. I want to lighten up this density. So we'll come back under properties. I want to first have it travel on edge, and that will remove all the underlay. So say travel on edge, and I want to have a little bit open density. So I want to increase the density, which is the space between the rows of the stitching. So I will put a 2 right here. So this is a 2mm space in between these rows of stitching. So that is our first base layer, and we'll just change that to a pink color. I want to come in and create I want to see where the center point is on this design. So if you bring your cursor right to the very edge, notice that it turns into a little plus sign. If you click right there, a guideline will pop up right on the screen, and I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to lock it in place, which means that if I digitize anything over it, I'm not going to nudge or bump that little guideline out of place. But we're going to use this to line up the little circle hanger we're going to create so that you can add your earring hardware to it. So for that, we're going to come over here and we will grab the steel tool, and for the width, I want it, let me move this over here. So I want this at 2mm, and I'm simply going to just drag. Oops, I forgot I needed to check the circle because we're making a circle. I am going to drag a little circle right like this. And we want the circle to approximately be about 7 to 8mm. Got it right here. We can check the size. Right now, when you have an object selected, you can also notice that you have your size right here. So I wanted to write around 8 millimeters, and that is close enough at 7.9. I do want to have the bottom of the satin stitch going into this foundation because it is going to be sandwiched together, and it's that stitching that's going to hold it in place so that when you rinse out the stabilizer after you stitch this out, this little ring will not come apart. We're going to keep it at the 2 millimeters we had set. We want to increase the density just a little bit, so I'm going to say 3.5 or 0.35, say enter, and that just makes this just a little bit more dense. I do want to add some more underlay to this, so I am going to add a zigzag. So this is a double zigzag. So that is going to create a nice foundation with the contour. Let's check where our starts and stops are for this. So we want to always eliminate as many trims as we possibly can. So I'm going to press Q on the keyboard, and here's the stop point of this first fill. So we want to see where the start point and the stop point is on this satin stitch. So I'm going to press Q on the keyboard. So I'll just move this right to here, and I want this satin to end right here because we're going to come over here and grab the run tool, which is a hotkey on your keyboard, and I'm going to start right here. I'm going to make a series of some zigzags, and this is just some extra security stitches. We'll just come back over here, and I'll just end right here, and that will offer additional support to hold this ring down, and I will press enter. And now we'll come back and we're going to sandwich another layer of the fill on top, and this is going to create our mesh foundation. So I have it selected, and I'm going to copy and paste Control C, Control V, and that will move it to the bottom of the sequence stalker. Notice that the inclination line is the same. We need to change that so it's going in the opposite direction. So by tapping W on the keyboard, that will bring up the inclination line, and we want this at 135 degrees. And notice that it creates a grid pattern. And then this additional design is going to stitch on top. So let's double check our starts and stops. It looks like we have a trim that we can remove. So let's look at the little zigzag. I'm going to press Q on the keyboard, and it looks like the stop is right here. So let's move the start so it touches the stop. So we will select it, and Q. Here is the start right here, and I'm going to move it right up here. And notice that then the scissors goes away, and this scissors indicates that just happens to be the last stitch of the design. So now we want to create a satin border that goes around this outer edge. And again, with that stitching on top, it is going to help secure this mesh layer in place because we're basically creating a fabric, if you will, with our stitches. So we're going to have this selected, and I'm going to duplicate it. So that would be Control D. When you duplicate something, it will go directly below the object that you had selected, and that's what we want. Instead of a fill pattern, we're going to convert this to a steel stitch. So I'm going to say convert to steel, and under the properties, we're going to make a few changes. So we will keep that at a 2 millimeter stitch width. The density is fine. I do want to add a center run because that is going to add additional stitching and a parallel, which is a zigzag. And we want to change the inset. I want to bring this steel stitch in so that is really stitching on top of those two layers of the fill. And to do that, under Inset, if you come up here and change it to 65%, notice that it is going to bump that steel stitch in towards the center when I press Enter. And that looks perfect. Now we're ready to start with the last two steps in this design, and you will then have your pair of earrings. So I'm going to come up and select this green fill, drop it to the bottom of the sequence stalker, and you'll do that by clicking this down triangle with the bottom, and it will put it at the bottom of the sequence. And I'm going to turn 3D on right now because we're going to convert this to a fancy fill, and this will be a decorative pattern, and you'll notice that this is the default right here. So you can come in and select any fill pattern that you want. For this particular design that I stitched out, I used the Diamond 2 pattern, and when you scroll through, you'll see that you have lots of options, so you can just audition them on screen to see what you like best for your earrings. So let's find the diamond. Here it is, Diamond 2, and so that looks good. And For this, I'm just going to leave the contour and I'm just going to remove the lattice underlay because we already have this underlay with this foundation. So this is now set in place. So our final thing to do is select these two gold borders. I'm going to also drop those to the bottom of the sequence so that they will stitch on top of this fill. Notice you can see this blue outline right here. So the fill pattern is going to have some nice coverage underneath the satin that we're about to apply to it. With that selected, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select Auto Satin, and automatically those stitches are generated, and I just want to come in and add a parallel underlay to it. So let me watch these, how these will stitch out so that you can see how you created the freestanding lace by creating a strong foundation. So let me turn on the stitch player. And that is right up here if you don't see it down along the bottom. So when I click on it, you'll see the slow redraw, and I'm going to click on it right here, and you'll notice the foundation stitches, the 45 degrees. I'm going to stitch that little hanger, extra zigzags to hold it in. Then that following layer of foundation comes in, then the underlay, and tack it all down nice and neat. Stitch that little satin border. Then we'll stitch the fancy fill, that fancy fill, and then finally we will stitch the satin border. And so you can come in and then change your earrings to any color that you'd like. So I'm just going to leave them bright so you can see the pieces right now. But what is important when you're stitching these freestanding lace earrings is you want to stitch each earring individually versus trying to color sort. That way you'll have the best registration possible. So I'm just going to say Control All, and I will say Control D, which is duplicate. I will hold down the Shift key, and I'm just simply going to drag this earring right next to the side right here. So now we do have a pair of earrings. So all we have to do is save our design. So I'll select the Save As icon, and I'll navigate to where I want to save this file. I'll just name it FSL Earrings and just press Save. This is your working JDX file if you need to come back to make any changes to it. And then you will come in and you will export it as in your favorite machine file format. So you then choose one of your formats in the drop-down box. Now we're ready to stitch out this design. Once your design is finished stitching, use a pair of scissors to carefully remove the excess stabilizer around the edge of the earrings, being careful not to clip into the stitching. Drop your earrings into a bowl of warm water to remove the excess stabilizer. Lay flat to dry on a paper towel, then add your earring hardware. Hope you enjoyed making your freestanding lace earrings using a creativity booster. Can't wait to see yours posted in the group.